Hey, this yours truly, Big Out the Quarterback, man, and I want to welcome you to QB Talk, the podcast. And guess who I got in the building today?
Y'all know who it is.
Love Dorsey, what's happening?
What's up with you? I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you for having me too.
Man, look, everybody else so filtered, watered down, and got so much chaser. It's only right that you in the building.
You got the right bitch on here. You already know. you knew who to come get then. Man, but you tired of that watered down stuff. Y'all know who to come holler at.
That's real. But man, let me tell you the whole purpose of QB Talk, the podcast. I understand that you're an influencer, but you're also a CEO. And I just like for other entrepreneurs to grab stuff from our stories so that when they having a bad day or a down day, they can realize that, hey, check this out. We have them days too, but we keep going. So the first thing that I want to say to you is this here. It's like people know that you're an influencer, but they got to realize that you're a brand, you're a corporation. Man, talk to the people, man. Let them know who you is, though.
I'm going to tell y'all something, right? You know, people know me for the real talk videos online.
Right.
Then you got a whole nother demographic that, you know, it's blended in, but they know me for the music.
Right.
They know, you know, she gonna spit some bars, same way she spit that real shit.
Right.
And then, you know, there's a business side to where, you know, from storefronts to online businesses, I do that.
Right.
And you got to be able to, I feel like you have to be able to stay consistent, but also stay sure, have some sort of purpose when you moving through this shit.
Okay.
So for me, like if y'all don't know, you could Google me, but from talking that real shit and really putting my people on game, and then also spitting that real shit in my music, unwatered down, you know, not filtered by somebody else's agenda, just that real raw shit and real talent, that's me. And then also, you know, I got my own handbag line, Jeji by Love Dorsey. Also, you know, I do Zooms. I do one-on-one phone calls where you can book me for some therapy. And see, they call me the hood therapist, right? Because I'm able to break down what's in them psychology books down to terminology where if you didn't even complete high school, you gonna understand it and get your mental health right.
And see, with that being said, and it's something that you touched on that I always talk about, purpose. It looked, now to the untrained eye, it looked like you just popping off, just talking shit. But what you doing is therapy. You giving back, you speaking life. And at the end of the day, you in a position to help somebody get on the right track.
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you something. This might sound cliche, especially if you don't know no better. But to give back to your community, to your people, to the world you live in, that shit really means something.
Come on, man.
I got a mentorship group I just started, and it's about 7-8 people that's in the mentorship. And one of the things we talked about in the past Zoom we just had is having a purpose. So I'm challenging each of them to decide what your purpose is. And here go the key when you decide your purpose. Man. You got to understand you need to set your purpose, and it got to matter to you, because most people to the everyday eye, they do not have that ultimate accountability. Right. They only hold themselves to the standards that they job set in regards to rules and regulations,
right? The
laws set in regards to whatever city, state, community you live in. Right. And we will fold on our own stuff that we set for ourselves before we fold on they shit, they rules, they regulations. So we'll change plans that we set for ourselves, goals, we'll set them bitches to the side, right, but we'll follow the clock at work or the standards in the community. You got to follow your shit just as hard as you follow the next man's shit.
Now watch this. This is how come I know that me and you together right now, it's alignment. Because it's one of the things I stand on is accountability. But a lot of people won't be accountable to themselves.
There you go. That's all I'm talking about.
You see what I'm saying?
You say what you gonna do, and then you stand on that business. Fuck the other business, right? They got checks and balances to make sure you follow that shit. You know what I'm saying? But the shit you told yourself, how much money you told yourself you want to make this year?
Right.
What businesses you say you want to start? What you say you want to do with your children? What you say you didn't want to see them do? Right. Stand on that business. Follow through with them goals.
And see, watch this, right? People always say, because in the entertainment, on my entertainment side, I'm real big on structure and infrastructure. And so a lot of people don't like structure and infrastructure. But I'm telling them, even if you go to prison, you're going to have structure. They're going to tell you what time to get
That's
up.
That's what I'm saying. You need to set that shit for yourself.
Right.
But this is the thing. I always say, when you don't have a plan or a purpose for yourself, life gonna give you one, and it's gonna be other people's.
Oh no, that's it. And then it go back to the different agendas that be trying to be pushed. Another thing that I got to get into before we get into the music is this. When I look at you from the outside looking in, I think that your movement is global. And so when you started, and and I'm not sure whether you started with the music or the influencer, but when you started, did you see yourself having all these different avenues that's available to you right now?
So I knew I was gonna be dual, if we can use that word, if that makes sense in this context. Right. I started with music, but there was always, which is in my character, my personality, my lifestyle, that business side, that real shit. And it's funny because, I did my time in the streets, but also growing up, I was a nerd. Like I come from a two-parent upbringing. In school, I was the straight A student that, I was the young girl that all the way up until like 12th grade, I'm dressing in my basketball clothes. Right. I'm the one with the new Jordans on, basketball shorts.
You tomboyed a little bit?
Yeah, I ain't studying no boys. I ain't, saying? This stuff came later. I'm in the books, like hardcore in the books. When I'm going to school, it ain't nothing but, white kids in my classes. When I'm in high school, with their parents got them on a direct route to college. Right. Like it's and then, I get out of high school, I jump in the streets chasing money, because of course I still come from a low income household. You know what I'm saying? I come from the food stamps, the projects, that struggle of our people for a lot of us that we know. You know what I mean? And then from there, touching the streets, I found poetry, and then from there is into music. Okay. And all the stuff is coming from, my life, my real perspective, but a lot of stuff I saw too, a lot of, things that went on. Because when you a tomboy, the boys treat you like a homeboy.
Yeah, that's your dog.
So yeah. It's a lot of stuff that the average woman will never know about the way men think, the way they operate. Even, in our community, a lot of the females coming from low-income households with no father figure, the fatherlessness is killing us. No. But that's another story. But it's a lot of things they don't know about the way men move, the way that men think. So being in the streets and being a bro to street niggas, right. You get to see a lot. You like that fly on the wall in a lot of rooms, and like, oh, okay, I see what's going on.
Hey, and you got a bird's eye view, like you roll.
Yeah.
And this the funny part. It's one in every neighborhood to where you actually off limits because you our dog. Yeah. And so we know you our sister, but we ain't gonna let nobody talk to you. Yeah. We blocking on you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you right there.
Yeah. And I get to sit there and see stuff that other females ain't the ones they trying to, fuck on. They ain't never finna hear this, see this, know this. Look at this, the plays that's being made. You know what I'm saying?
It's looking like chess more than checkers.
Exactly.
Check this out. It's something that you said on one of your podcasts. Before I get to what my little audience wanted me to touch on, but when you, and I'm gonna paraphrase it, so if I mess it up, straighten me on this. Yep. The guy said that he was asking you about if a male was raised by his mom or something to that effect, that at a later date, and again, you got to straighten me on this, his interaction with females might not be, he like females, he just want that, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? So help me out on that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. So the conversation was about, him and me discussing the idea of there are, and this is true for a lot of men when we talk about the fatherlessness. Let me say this first, right? Mm-hmm. When I say single mothers produce the worst product, right? Mm-hmm. All the single mamas get offended. They can't hear past that statement. Right. So let me say it in the context that they will put their emotions to the side
and embrace.
Right. Fatherlessness. A lot of men coming from households where there is no father that has influence over the children, no male that has influence. They grow up heterosexual, attracted to females. This is not all, right? But a lot of them, and men have talked to me about this, so I know this to be true. Right. They have a full-on attraction to females in regards to their sexuality.
Correct.
But liking a woman, like talking to her, interacting, spending time with her outside of the idea of getting some pussy, they not attracted to that.
There it is. And you know what? That has to be said, because now, and even with what I do just on the side, when I'm dealing with females, some of their biggest complaints be, okay, well, he's not pouring into me. Well, he might not know how. You know what I'm saying? He might not even be able to pour into himself.
Or he might don't like your ass.
Yeah, well, that you might not bring that out of him.
Yeah, but or he just might don't like your ass like that.
Right.
Like he like you for the sex.
Right,
like ain't nobody taking nothing away from your sexual, the energy you give him as a woman that turns him on as a man. But for a man to turn in, you know, that term as my peoples use, or choose you, or make you their only option, because a man has to decide that you're going to be their only option. In order for that to occur, he got to really give a damn about your ass.
There you go. Because see, you could just be his favorite. That means you high on the food chain, but you not that. You feel me? And that's how come I just think with your message and with what you're doing, indirectly it's still a ministry, because the women not going to listen to everybody. You feel me? And so then one thing that I wanted to point out too is I've seen a couple of people come on with their comments and try to detour you from what you said and make you pivot. And so one of the things that I embrace that I love is, dog, you stood 10 toes down. I said what I said, but then you didn't say it in an arrogant way. You gave them support and documentation as to this is where I get it from.
I'm really, this is the thing. I'm really for my people.
Right.
And I'm really for women, especially black women. Although they can't see past the harsh realities that I give at times. Everything about my platform, how I, set up my businesses and arrange things that have to do with digging into my community, it is in support of making us better psychologically alongside the men. If you're not that bright on a surface level, it look like, oh, she just side with the dudes, and why she saying stuff that's talking down on single mamas. I'm gonna say that real shit, that if you apply it, if you get in my Zooms, even just listening to my music, like I get that real therapy that get your fucking mind right by doing better for you. And when you do better, when you change your paradigms, the way you think, how you moving, you attract better. Them fuck niggas you attracting that don't really like you like that, bro, you won't even look that way in the type of men that'll start really looking at you. Even if it's just on a business tip or a socializing tip, they will be different. Like I really lay this shit out. And I know you know something, because for you to be able to see, I know how to stay on focus, right? I know how to focus and stay on point, excuse me. When I'm out to lay out a message, I wouldn't give a damn what you say in the comments. You ain't finna stop me from delivering what I came on this bitch to deliver.
And see, that's necessary, because what it is in society today, clicks, likes, that's what determined. And so it's somebody that's real high up in the industry that I thought that I would have to pay for an interview, because he's going to change the whole trajectory of what I'm doing. And he told me, he said, check this out, dog. I know you from the entertainment business. He said, but your purpose with what you're doing right now, he said, if you just stay on it, I'll just help you. And so it's already some things. And this funny, like, he don't need me. He not big dog. But I explained to him what my purpose was. And so indirectly, in the corporate world, we say mission statement. I still don't know what your mission statement is, but I've watched you on about 20 different platforms, and you've been consistent. So that's why I ran you down. Now, with this to half a joke, I had somebody call you 7 o'clock in the morning. It might have been 6. You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying, or send a message. I said all that to say this. I don't want the people that's on my platform to sit back and be talking about, it's the new year, so I'm going to do this. Because the new year is not enough to make you do what you're supposed to do. Where your mindset at. You feel me? So now, let's get to the music, man. Let's get to the music.
I'm going to tell you something. I appreciate you saying that, like what you said about the person that you were referencing that was talking about you staying on your purpose. I'm a firm believer in, if you have a goal, right? A purpose, but really a goal, something that you're actively working towards accomplishing. If you stay on that and you're willing to not deviate for nothing or nobody,
come on, man,
you gonna see anybody you trying to see at the top.
Man, come on. And that, hold up. What you just said is what I want to say. But when I say it, they tired of me being positive. Because remember, I'm from where I'm from. I can't help that. Aside from that, I'm adopted. So I saw different things growing up. And so it's the thing that you just said on my platform, and I'm glad you shared it with me. You told the people you were smart. You feel me? And you just You chose to deviate. You really could have went to college. And I look at not only your word play, but your word selection and your content.
I did go to college. I did. I went and got what I wanted to get.
Right.
Like this the thing what people don't understand, right? Like if you're intelligent and you understand America and that this is a business.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on, man. Tighten up.
The idea is you gotta understand yourself. And then you decide a route for you, right? And
for you.
Yes, for you.
Right.
I decided the route for me. Anything I need to keep this route going, boy, I'm going to go get that. But I'm going to get it based on my standards.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. Whatever books or knowledge, I know how to go through all kind of rooms.
Come on.
And it is crazy because with the music and with what I do with my, my real talks and my podcasting and shit like that, I'll run across people and they'll be like, love, I can help you get on that platform or that podcast or that particular TV show. It's going to cost this or it's going to cost that. Bruh, I see you over there. And when I get over there, it ain't going to cost nothing like what you talking about it costs.
Man, alignment, manifestation, purpose. Everybody hate that. And see, I'm so big on energy. I don't really advertise, but everybody kind of come to me, to work, to do some stuff.
Yeah.
But if I don't want to, if I don't feel it, I don't even move. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I said all that to say this. It's like what you doing is just so needed. And I salute you.
I appreciate that.
I salute you. But let's get to the music.
Let's do it.
Check this out, right? When I look at you personally, right, it's almost like we know you 10 toes down, but I hear a touch of Mary J in terms of how she had the females that had been through something. And so when I look at just from an experience standpoint, it sounds like you done been through something.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you this, right? If you're trying to kind of like sum me up or relate me to other artists, you got to go back further, right? And you got to go back to, like how I say, I started with understanding poetry. So you got to go back to people like Maya Angelou.
Okay.
You got to go back to certain Black authors that wrote books.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to go back to Zora Neale Hurston. You got to go back.
You got to dig.
Yeah. Then you go into, because I spent time in the streets, you got to go into people like Tupac.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man,
like,
please.
you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Right.
When you going into R&B, you got to look at people like Mary J. And you know what I mean? And I mean, the list could go on.
Right.
But I'm going to just say this. Substance.
Okay.
Substance.
Okay.
I can pop my shit, and I'm sure you checked out some of the music. I could pop my shit on just some flaws and shit.
Right.
I could water myself down and just talk about the transactional, sex shit that everybody got in there. I could do that.
Right.
I'm a beautiful woman. I'm a sexy female. I get money. It ain't nothing to slide somewhere and pay for an ass or
right.
a little extra ass or extra small waist or bigger titties.
No, that's nothing. Right.
It's doable. Right. Substance. So you dead on with what you're saying, but my whole point is anything I'm putting into in regards to music, I'm gonna talk about some shit.
That's right.
So we can go into the streets, we can go into the relationship shit, we can go into some real shit. What you want to get on some Black Power shit? Yeah. We can just talk some shit, but it's gonna be some substance behind the shit I'm talking about.
And that's why outside of your presence, I spoke life on your whole movement because I know it's global. You see what I'm saying?
That.
Like we saying it on camera because again, I get a chance to go through a lot of music, but when I go and do my independent check on who that person is, they looked at, oh my gosh, Lotto winning right now. I'm gonna be Lotto, and so I'm just glad that you standing on your purpose.
Yeah, I'm gonna be Dorsey.
Well,
I'm gonna be Dorsey, and I'm gonna tell you something, right? Like going back to purpose, right? For me,
right.
If anybody give a fuck, my purpose is to die a legend. For my people, though.
Right.
A legend for my people. Right. Meaning somebody that 3, 4, 5 generations when I'm gone, they can say she gave something back to our community that is not going to lose its value over time. Right. So for me, the networking, the informing, the making sure that I appeal in my music to not just my generation, but the generations under me.
Right.
Staying relevant, staying up to date. Also receiving knowledge. Like I know a lot, but I am an autodidact. I'm attracted to information.
Come on.
Boy, if you know something, tell me. Nigga, if you got some game, teach me. I'm mouth and I'm all ears at the same time. That's why we got 2 of these bitches.
Watch this here. listen to me. You just stunned me just on that one thing. People laugh. I still read. I still meditate.
Yeah.
I still go to symposiums.
Yep.
And it's not a lot. It's not enough of that for us. You feel me? And this is something that I want to say. Even when I look at your movement, and I'm not sure 1,000% of your direction, but I could see you traveling, even abroad, and just talking that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like how Beyonce got the bees or whatever. Your squad gonna step for you. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so my thing is, I definitely, I'm glad that you came on, but we can't leave without talking about what you got next for 2024.
So let me say this. Let me back up for a second, right? So I have in the workings, I have deals being offered for TV shows, mainstream radio, in regards to my own show. I have multiple books that that are in the works to be dropped. They already written, excuse me. Those will be dropping. My music.
Yeah.
January 5th, a whole new tape drops. And this one is called The Afterthought.
Okay.
And in the music, it's really, okay, so my last project was called A Breakup.
Okay.
Right? So this is now the afterthought. So after you go through that relationship shit, and now there is a space where for men and women, you going through your thoughts after you separate from a motherfucker.
Right.
Whether it's a marriage, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a fling or whatever, you going through some thoughts on your own about that shit and
you
about
processing.
Yeah, there you go. That's that word. There you go. So that's dropping, and it's that therapy to help you process, and that bitch go.
There you go.
So that's coming too. What else? I got with my businesses. So I have my purse line. There'll be some new handbags that'll be coming out. So I have some big shit going on with that, and then touring.
Yeah,
so moving around the United States. First off,
man,
talking that it's coming.
Yeah, and so watch this. I'm gonna say this right on my show. Before I knew about any of that you just said, dog, I wrote you on my draft board because at the end of the day, everybody, when you're an entity like yourself, I know that your squad gonna have to move and understand that you Michael Jordan, and all they gotta do is just put you in a position to win. So I definitely appreciate you for coming.
Absolutely. And let me say this about my squad. We loaded, but I'm always recruiting. I'm always down the network. I'm big on resources.
Come on.
People, places, things, new environments that are in support of me getting and living and being in my purpose all the way.
Watch this here. And that's really what I wanted to put out to the masses. And even though my thing is I'm a voice for the entrepreneurs and I'm a voice for the artists, but I want people to understand that you got to go get it. I want their mindset to be right, and I just don't like people that make excuses.
Right.
And so I want them to hear you. I want them to see
my
you.
kind of talk.
You feel me? And I want them to know at the end of the day, you may be forced to wear different hats, but you're not complaining because it comes back to you. This your brand.
So when you, because I like what you're saying, when you on your podcast and you talking to, the artists, right, about music and maneuvering through, you touch on that accountability.
I have to.
You being in your own way as the artist, you not wanting to listen to nothing, don't want nobody to tell you nothing.
You know what I call it?
What?
Self-inflicted wounds.
Oh, yeah. You in your own way. Yeah. Self-sabotage.
Come on. And because remember...
that hater you talking about.
But,
you know how a person
watch yourself.
You hate on your own self by blocking, receiving new information, moving through new rooms. That whole, I'm going to stay with the same people that I was with since I started. Day ones. And like, bruh, you have to add to your team to grow. Man,
and this something... If you look at what I posted today, I said, why don't you just start with the man in the mirror? I posted that today. And so I noticed this.
Cliche, but you saying a word.
Right.
Like you think, this nigga said some Michael Jackson shit. No, people don't realize, like, bro, we set the ceiling for ourselves.
There you go. And watch
while
this.
thinking that other people is restricting us. So, bro, it's the money. Or if I could just get to this, or if I could just...
One thing, and this is what's good, I got a church background. I've been in the streets. I worked in corporate America. And it's 3 things that I learned that I wish could be applied over here. Mm-hmm. Some of these guys need mentors
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then some of these guys need to be in a system. And then, as much as I hate to admit it, they need to work on their craft independently. I'm not talking about, okay, we're in Florida. So Black College Reunion, the classic come up.
Yeah.
Everybody want to promote.
Yeah.
What the hell you been doing the whole year though?
Yeah.
You still promoting for the wrong reason, because right now you're trying to show out for the broads.
Yeah.
And so I know what I could say I could get 1 million likes, because when it comes to the industry, or when it comes to being a closer or presentation, I'm him. Marketing, branding, I'm him. But that ain't what they need to hear. That's what they want to hear.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell them it's going to start with you.
Yeah.
And then when you meet somebody, if they sharper than you, that's okay.
You need to say
Align.
that again. No, you need to say that again. When you meet somebody, if they sharper than you, what he's saying is, if they smarter than your ass or know more than your ass, it's nothing wrong with saying, bruh know more than me, bruh smarter than me,
on,
she know more than me, she smarter than me on this. This is a resource of mine, and I'm gonna embrace that shit. Not get in my ego, not feel uncomfortable, not feel like I don't have to give in order to take from that particular person, not be flawed and act like I know what they know when I really don't.
There you go. There you go. And that's why me and my little tribe, it's 8 of us. We talk about alignment, and we talking about collaborations. And what we do is we hold each other accountable, and we go to the table, and each one of us is in different business, but we're all entrepreneurs.
You listen, you saying some shit. I'm gonna tell you something. In my mentorship program, right? I was talking to the people that are in it, and I was explaining, I'm gonna push y'all to set up a table or your own personal group of resources, right? And so I'm just giving them examples. Successful people have lawyer, banker, CEO of a certain type of company that complements whatever type of business that they're in. These are, they group, if you're trying to be successful, is not a bunch of homeboys. It's people that are key to you excelling. Even when you look at corporate, right? You look at a multi-million dollar or $1 billion company, there is a board, right? You got an owner or the nigga that this is my company, but then next to him, he got the investment banker, that's some young cat that went to school for just that. This my shit.
Right.
He worked for me, but he know more than me in this area. You got the lady that's the PR lady. She worked for me. This is my company. I'm the boss. I might be the face, but I go to her and shut the fuck up about PR shit.
There you go.
It's my HR lady. She went to school for human resources. She worked for me, but I shut the fuck up when she tell me what shouldn't be going on around this company office and what I shouldn't say, how I should interact with employees. Come on, now, it ain't that hard.